You're listening to Video Villa Podcast, Episode 9, Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. So today it is your usual duo talking about my absolute favorite Halloween movie, just movie in general. Well, I love Beetlejuice.
Your hostess with the mostest. Now this one's relevant.
Yeah. So obviously Logan joins me today.
Hello.
And we are talking about Beetlejuice, which I fucking love Beetlejuice. I think I needed to wait a little bit longer to say the F-bomb.
It don't matter.
But it's okay.
Yeah, Beetlejuice was, I don't know, it's weird thinking about movies that are part of your childhood, and Beetlejuice is part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. But it's weird, though, because I can't think of a time without Beetlejuice. My earliest memories was like I already had watched Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I don't remember the first time I watched Beetlejuice. I just know that I love Beetlejuice.
Yeah, like
I also really like Tim Burton, so
like
it's a twofer.
I don't remember watching it for the first time.
Yeah,
I just remember always watching it.
Yeah, same.
I mean, like I always watch.
Like it's that thing, like that time of the year.
Me and my sister loved it, and my sister was 4 years older than me, so she was a little bit more. She got things a little bit faster, and she lived up a little bit more in the 80s than I did. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple more things that were relevant to her.
Are you jealous of her because of that?
No. Yeah, I don't. Well, because I will say the 80s had some great stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was not I grew up in the 90s, but I know 90s are making a comeback. But I don't think the 90s were that great, to be honest. There was good stuff, but anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, it's crazy because I remember mostly like the movie, yes, but I watched the TV show religiously in the mornings. And I remember like it was different because same thing like the Ghostbuster movie. I remember the Ghostbuster show more than the movie as a child because I watched the show all the time.
Oh, I don't even think I've watched the Beetlejuice show.
Oh, it was great.
Maybe like bits and pieces
of it. Well, they change it up. Lydia, she's actually friends with Beetlejuice.
Oh, gotcha.
And Beetlejuice is technically not a bad guy. He's like her friend. So you know how like in the end. Yeah.
I like the movie.
You know how the end like Barbara and Adam like become her friends. And it's more like Beetlejuice is that person. And it's very interesting because I believe if I remember, it was 2D and I think a little bit of 3D animation, but it was really weird 3D animation, like the very beginning stages of 3D animation. So like it looked pretty shitty, but looked very creepy and weird at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just really like Beetlejuice. The songs that they play, they make you just want to like dance with the movie. And it's just funny. It's comical. There's a lot of innuendos, which you don't realize until you're an adult.
Yeah.
And it's just all around just a good time to watch. I probably could watch it on repeat relentlessly. Well,
they had a hard time getting it made because they were pushing it for a while to get it made, and it was just so weird of a movie. Everyone was saying no. Everyone was just like, I just think it's too weird. Like,
no, I love weird. If there's one thing about me, is like, and Logan can attest to this, I am like really weird artwork. Like, it's just stuff that's weird and makes you like makes your face like cringe, like not cringe, but like you look like puzzled over it. Like you're kind of like, what is that? But I like it. Mm-hmm. That's me over a lot of things.
Yeah, it's the art style of Tim Burton. This is really when we see it.
Yeah.
I mean, his first movie that he directed, full-length feature film, was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
if you see his movies, you can see, oh, it's got the Tim Burton feel to
Yeah.
it to a certain degree, but it's not full blown Tim Burton. This one is like full blown, guns a blazing, just
I have
freaking
Pee-wee
weird.
on DVD, I think, somewhere.
And then he also like the movie looks cheapy and campy, but like on purpose. Like they worked with their budget, but they wanted to push on the campy side to get that.
Yeah, like not gonna lie, like some of the things look like things that I would create for Halloween decorations, like DIY type stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want a sandworm, Spirit Halloween has them online, so you can get them all year round. You can find them in my yard next year.
I like those things, but like I wish they were bigger. They are still kind of small.
I mean, they got that big one that comes out.
No, the one that the 3-piece that you put in the yard.
Oh, I thought you meant in the movie. I'm like, they have a giant one that comes out.
No. I'm talking about Spirit Halloween. Yeah,
I forget how long they are, but if you get more, you can just make one long sandworm and just ditch the other parts.
But yeah, this movie, it's funny. So the movie was written by 3 people basically. It wasn't even written by Tim Burton, which is kind of funny. If you go back and watch through Tim Burton's catalogs, a lot of these movies that are Tim Burton's this, Tim Burton's that, a lot of them aren't really written by him.
Yeah.
Or like the famous one, the big famous one is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just his characters that he created, but he didn't even really work on it per se. Like it was a lot of other hands in that basket that was not Tim Burton.
Yeah, but the thing is about all Tim Burton movies, the characters are what make the movie. I mean, the characters are what makes any movie, but like something about these unique and crazy and weird and they sometimes make you uncomfortable characters are just like what draws people in, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
it's the creepy and unusual.
Yeah, I mean, that's what when you go see a Tim Burton movie, that's kind of what you're going to expect. That's what you're looking for. But yeah, so we had Michael McDowell. He wrote part of it. Larry Wilson and Warren Sharon. Mike McDowell, he wrote on Not Before Christmas. Mm-hmm. So he, as you can see, a similar style.
Yeah.
Larry Wilson, Addams Family, which...
I love Addams Family.
It's like a Tim Burton movie without being a Tim Burton movie. It's weird to say that.
Movie, I don't care. I love...
Yeah,
anything and everything
is
Addams
phenomenal.
Family.
That's another one. Same thing with Addams Family. It was Tim Burton, Addams Family, Encino Man. Like these are movies that I grew up watching, and like I said, I can't remember the first time I watched them, but I just always remember watching them. And these are movies like would be on repeat.
Yeah,
like repeat. And
I remember growing up, I always wanted to just look like Wednesday.
Yeah, I had a big crush on Wednesday when I was growing up.
It's just she was weird and kooky, and the whole family was. I just something just grabbed me and held me in, and years later it still has that hold.
And then Warren Scarron, sorry, I said his name wrong last, but Scarron, he worked on Batman, which is another Tim Burton movie.
Yeah. So did Tim Burton make the one where that penguin is in? Because Penguin's a weird character.
Batman Returns. Yeah,
that checks.
It didn't do as well, but I actually liked it.
Yeah.
I really do like Batman Returns. It's much darker. I feel like, yes, it has a little bit more camp to it, but I don't know. I still really enjoy it. Like and I really think like that is my favorite of the two. I really think that Return's my favorite. I love Catwoman in it. It's great. I love how they gave him a new, more traditional looking suit. They changed the emblem on it and stuff like that. I love the Batmobile. Yeah. I mean, and those Batman movies set the scale on what to do for the Batman animated series when it came out. Yeah. They realized like, hey, we can do something dark with this stuff. So, because Tim just did it and it was the most successful film of that time, and Tim just did it, and they're like, well, we can start to actually
do it again.
We do it again, but with animated style, and then we got the best, literally adaptation of Batman ever. But that's me going on a tangent, whatever.
That can be another episode.
But yeah, I mean, musically, you got Danny Elfman. I mean, phenomenal. This is
the music that like sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, well, this is the second time him working with Tim Burton. His first film was the shoot, what? Pee-wee's?
Oh, I forget the rest. I never
Is
remember the
it
rest.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Pee-wee's
Yeah.
Big Adventure, yeah.
But yeah, so even the music, whether it's Beetlejuice or like The Nightmare Before Christmas, the
Danny Elfman as well.
yeah, the music sticks in your head even after you've watched it.
Yeah.
Like it's catchy, it's I guess you could say like groovy in some sense, and even after the movie, I always catch myself just bouncing around inside my own head.
It's funny because
to the music.
The Danny Elfman, it fits. It's like there's this. It's like the goth kids came together and made a movie, and that's literally what it is. Like Tim Burton is definitely an '80s goth kid.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just the way he dresses, his hair screams that '80s.
If I ever met him, I'd cry.
That '80s goth era, and then you got Danny Elfman from Oingo Boingo, and like the music that he composes, it's got that gothic sound.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I mean, not like full blown, but you can see like the gears turning, and even with the writers, it's like you almost got like this, like everything seems coincide with this image that they're going for, and people that are working on it.
Yeah, it's definitely a very good example of collaboration.
Yeah.
And collaboration make a very particular image happen.
Yeah.
And for something so unique and so specific, everyone really truly has to be into the same things, or at least like on the same page.
Yeah.
To get that end goal.
And this movie really did a lot. Like, okay, this was the first movie with Michael Keaton working with Tim Burton, and this movie did well. And then they did Batman, which a lot of people were scarce of, but they worked together on this movie and did so well. They're like, no, this guy, he could be Batman.
Yeah.
And then Batman comes out, like I said earlier, like the most successful film of that time. Was crazy. Yeah. It was ridiculous, and that skyrocketed Mr.
Skyrocketed.
I would say Mr. Keaton's career, but it skyrocketed Michael Keaton's career. And I mean, to be honest, without those movies, I mean, he definitely wouldn't have been who he is. I mean, yes, he did. Mr. Mom did good, but I mean, he's not a household name like he is now without him being Batman and Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
and I mean, and Beetlejuice wouldn't be Beetlejuice if it wasn't for Michael Keaton.
Oh
because
absolutely.
A lot of him in the movie is all that's improvised. 90% of his lines were all improvised. That was him being him, because before he started comedy, he was actually kind of like he tried stand-up comedian in like the very early, like 81 or something like that. And I mean, it didn't really do too well for him. You can still find some cool like little videos of him live at the Improv.
That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
He's got a full head of hair and it's all long and curly and stuff like that. Some of it's kind of funny. Like he has this Bazooka Joe joke that's really funny. But this movie.
Talk about gum with like no flavor.
It's got
3 seconds of flavor.
I would say it's got really good flavor for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds. You're about 5 chews in, it's gone.
Yeah,
and then
he's like, by the way, here's this little comic strip that you can't fucking read because the words are so goddamn blurry.
Sold at every nearby baseball field, sports complex.
But yeah, this movie is, I definitely say, one of my favorites. I mean,
yes. If I can't say that enough.
We got pictures. I got a poster of the movie poster in our studio here. It will be one of those movies I will watch for the rest of my life.
Oh,
hands down.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to give you guys a little breakdown of the movie,
the Becca breakdown.
Yeah, which seems a little pointless because it's Beetlejuice, but we're here now.
Just do it short and sweet.
Yeah. So this couple unexpectedly dies. They are stuck in their house and they don't like the people that move in, and they are stuck in this realm of like ghosts, but still like it's almost like a weird purgatory. But not like an actual purgatory, obviously. And Beetlejuice is the man that might be able to help them get the people out of their house that buy it because they really freaking hate those people besides the young girl, Lydia. So it's that adventure of them going to extreme ends, meaning Beetlejuice, to get the people out of their house, to then, making a compromise on the situation. That's the shortest I can give you guys.
Well done.
But yeah, so also I just backspace a little bit. I didn't even realize until the other day when we rewatched it. So we rewatch things before we talk about them just to refresh our memory. And I didn't realize Alec Baldwin was in this movie.
Yeah.
He just doesn't look like Alec Baldwin to me.
Well, he's all young and thin.
Yeah. That clicked when it first started and it was playing like the actors and stuff. I'm like, shit, Alec Baldwin's in this?
Yeah, I mean, Alec Baldwin was a very handsome man back in the day, and he was relatively thin in good shape until about 99, probably early 2000s, I guess. And that's when he kind of once he unfortunately gained a little bit of weight, he started physically looking different in the face. Like his features looked a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, some people do. Yeah, I also pay attention to movies differently now, obviously. So I pick up on more things like that I didn't even know he was in this movie. I've known Michael Keaton since this movie. I had no idea. And Winona Ryder. But Alec Baldwin just went right over the head.
Yeah, and then the Gina Davis is Barbara in it.
Yeah.
Which, she's that, A League of Her Own. I made you watch that one. She's very beautiful in that movie. And she's got a quirky little weird, everybody outfit, the way they are portrayed and look in the movie, it fits their personality to a T. The dress she's wearing, it's just like an old farm dress.
Yeah.
And
he's like a classic, shirt tucked in.
Yeah, plaid.
Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, plaid khaki kind of guy and stuff like that. It's so funny because when the I forget their last name. I don't know. I'll remember.
Don't butcher it.
But when the new family moves in, it's like night and day. Obviously.
Oh yeah, completely different people, completely different personalities, and that's the whole basis of the movie. They're like, we don't want people like this here.
Yeah.
We want different people here. We want people that are going to keep it the same, people that like it, people that are like us.
Yeah.
And that's not what they got.
And it's kind of cool because I gotta see there is a slightly of a message. And when you watch the movies, like I said, we want people like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you need to be acceptable to other things that are just the things that you like.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little bit more like, what's the word? Open-minded. There you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
You're welcome.
But all right, we can get into it. So we get this nice, cool little shot of the town.
Yeah, that's such a cute little town
that Adam and Barbara live in, and it's cool because it's like this nice I guess a helicopter style shot or something like that, and it slowly transitions into his fake town.
Yeah.
At first it's real. I don't know if it's trying to obviously towards the end it's the fake town or whatever, but I always thought that town that he had when I was little was the coolest thing I've ever freaking saw.
Yes, it was just there's so many intricacies in the movie in general that are just so cool.
Yeah, and it's weird. Here's the thing. This movie, it's great, and it is cool, and there's things, it's quirky, and you just fall in love with it. But it's not trying hard at all.
No.
It's just being itself.
Yeah, it's just being weird.
But I do feel like over the years, I feel like that Burton-esque vibe changed a little bit, and it was almost kind of a little bit, like I said, it kind of feels like, okay, I think you're trying a little too hard with some of the later films and stuff like that. But this one just seems more genuine.
That feeling goes over my head. I'm a creature of habit, though. But yeah, so you see this transition into the model set, and then you meet Adam and Barbara, and they're gonna take a little staycation to work on their house. They're trying to, make their dream home. They're a young couple. Doing the usual renovations and things like that. So, and I think they kind of want to grow their family, maybe.
They've been trying, but haven't been successful.
Yeah. And so obviously they're working on their house. And if anyone's ever done home renovations at all, big or small, no matter how prepared you think you are, you're going to start that project and realize you don't have even the smallest thing that you need.
Oh my God.
And it is so annoying.
I hate every freaking trip to back and forth to Home Depot. I mean, it's
Lowe's, whatever we can online order.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I love Home Depot, but yeah,
I don't like going there 3 times in one day.
I mean, I like Home Depot. But yeah, so he needs to go to the hardware store to get something, so he convinces Barbara to go with him to get out of the house. And
that's his barber shop. I'm not barber shop. That's his
hardware shop.
Hardware store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you see it, he has like some of the miniatures there in the store too.
Yeah. So he then leaves the barber shop, and it's really funny. You have this old man, or leaves the hardware store, which is right next to a barber shop.
Yeah.
And there's this old guy outside that starts talking to Adam as he gets there. Adam goes in the store, is kind of like, hey, good afternoon. And the guy still is talking while Adam is in the store, and then Adam comes out to go to the car, and the old man's still sitting outside talking. Just still talking to himself this whole time.
Hey, I had this guy come down in, he had his hair down to his shoulders, and I was like, you know what?
Honestly, though, that's pretty on par to my listening skills to Logan. But they get in the car, and they live like... I made a joke that it's like Logan's home. They live in this like small little like hill or whatever community. Mm-hmm. And when they leave, there's a little foreshadowing. When they leave to go to the hardware store, a little foreshadowing because there's a dog running around in the street. And where Logan lives in Tennessee, there's just like, it's all farmland. So people's dogs like are just out and about, and then they go home, I'm sure when it's dinner time or whatever home's feeding them. So Adam and Barbara are going home, and they go under a one-way cover bridge, which is self-explanatory. We have one around here that's like apparently haunted or whatever, but you're technically supposed to honk before you go through them. Literally, you'll see signs that say honk one-way bridge. And usually they're like red covered bridges. Anyways, so they're going through the bridge, but then the dog runs out in front of them. And I don't know if any of y'all have been in driving school. Would they tell you... do not swerve. You're going to get into an accident, hurt yourself, or hurt somebody else. Okay, if it's a dog, I'd swerve. I do draw the line there. I'd swerve.
It's hard.
Over a dog. But Logan will swerve over a butterfly.
I don't swerve. I slow down.
If y'all could see my face. He will swerve, slam on the brakes, weave for a butterfly, a bird.
Well, yeah.
The occasional squirrel.
Sometimes they don't get out of the way.
They do always get out of the way by the time you get to them, Logan. Every single time.
You know what? I'm going to kill a couple of birds, and you're going to be like, you're going to take back that statement.
The funny thing is, the other day I was driving down like a main road near us, and I saw a bird, and I'm like, all right, you know what? You're going to move. I know you're going to move. And I'm like, I'm not going to be like Logan and swerve. I'll be damned if that bird did not move in the last second, and I thought it hit my grill, and I'm like, you little fucking shit.
See?
You little shit.
See?
It didn't hit my grill, though. So that's why you don't swerve.
You also don't know if the wings are broken, so maybe they need to hop out of the way. They can't fly out of the way.
Okay, what's the likelihood?
There is a chance. There's chances.
There's always chances. I did also make Logan stop on a 4-lane highway so I could get a turtle off the side of the road and bring it home. And then release it as in a safe area. So I'm no better. Anyways, so she swerves to hit the dog. I draw the line there. I'd swerve too. But then they drive through the side of the cover bridge, and they're like teetering off. See, they swerve for the dog, and then the dog doesn't have the same grace that they gave that dog. So they're teetering on this little piece of wood over the little creek underneath. And the only thing holding them in place is the damn dog. And he just steps right off and sends them into the creek.
Yeah.
And they die. Which, like, logistically, I feel like they wouldn't have died. It was it was shallow.
But it depends on how they fell, and if they couldn't get out of the car seats.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. They could have drowned easily.
At that time, did they even have seatbelts then? It was a bench seat car.
I don't know. I don't know when 88. So maybe it came out in 88. So
I mean,
no. They had seat belts. They probably didn't have airbags.
They definitely didn't have airbags because I used to have a 95 Jeep Cherokee and that passenger seat did not have airbags.
Yeah, my 92 Ford Taurus did not have airbags.
Yeah, so people didn't care about anyone but the driver back then.
But yeah, it's funny because so you know how when everyone dies, they're supposed to be like when they died.
I don't know because I haven't died yet.
No, I'm saying in the movie.
Yeah.
You know how everyone dies, they're supposed to be how they die. That's how they spend the rest of their afterlife.
Oh, yeah, like the shrunken head and the slit stuff.
They were supposed to be wet.
Oh, yeah.
Because they drowned.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to be wet through the entire film. But I think they did it for like one day and it was like so uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And,
that seems like a doozy to pull off.
But, they would constantly have to be wet during every filming. So Tim Burton just scratched that. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to put y'all through this.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of crazy if they were wet through the entire movie.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that seems a little bit of a reach. But, yeah, so they obviously die in the car when it goes off the edge of the bridge. And they suddenly wake up and they're back home.
Yeah, they come back home and I mean obviously they're freezing, so they warm up by the fire and you see the little funny little clip of like her fingers catching on fire.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Which you can see, like, I guess they used like little wicks on top of her fingers or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how they did it. I mean, either could have been a fake hand or it could have been
it looked like a wax hand that had wicks at the top of the fingers.
I can't remember.
Because if you slow it down and really look, it literally, you can see where it's like a little bit of a gap from the tip of her finger and then the flame actually, there.
Yeah, but yeah, they're back at their house and they noticed everything's the same except they have a new book on their table, the handbook for the recently deceased.
Yes.
And that's when they get the idea, like, Barb, we're dead.
Yeah.
It's so cute how, like, with this, like them together. They make a really good couple in the movie, I will say.
It's a good thing they died together.
Yeah, it's very sweet. How like seeing their like little banter back and forth throughout the movie. I think it really does bring some good character because even though Beetlejuice is the main star, but Barbara and Adam, they are good characters.
Oh yeah, they're equally important characters.
Yeah, they're still great characters in the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of character development with them, and then they are, a portion of Lydia's character development as well.
Yeah. So basically, Adam and Barbara find out that soon after they have passed, that people are trying to move into their house. And they think that they're being punished by this conflict of lifestyle. That
because they also realize that they're stuck in the house. So they try to like run out because obviously like you're in this panic. Like, oh my gosh, if this really what happens when we all die, I am going to have such a hard time. But they try to go out and it zaps them into what is the little village in like in their attic.
No, when they try to leave, they go to Mars where there's sandworms.
Oh yeah, so yeah, they go to Mars and then you see the
only reason why I know it's Mars because it says something about it like when he's reading the newspaper. It's like Mars sandworms attacks on Mars have increased by blah blah or whatever.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so he first tries it because he steps off the front steps and it zaps him to Mars and he sees like the sandworms and it's just like sand everywhere.
And he was gone for like a week or something like that.
She's like, you've been gone for forever.
Yeah.
What happened to you? Where did you go?
It's like a week or something like that. He's like, but he only thinks that he's been gone for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So they learn not only are people moving to this house that they don't like, but they also can't leave the house. Yeah. They're stuck. Yeah. They're not going anywhere.
So that's the thing is like, they're like, okay, well, we can't leave and these people are moving in. What are we going to do? And they're like, well, we have to try to scare them.
Yeah, because their biggest grope is that the wife of the family that's moving in is going to remodel the whole entire place in a completely different direction. Like this very modern, artistic direction.
Yeah.
And like, it's not good art.
It's that I can't put I don't know. It's just like this weird type of like.
You shouldn't yuck someone's yum. I'm sorry I said it's not good art, but it's
There's a
weird.
word for it. I can't put my name on it, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a very specific style of art. Like I said, this was very popular like in the 80s and 90s, early 90s and stuff like that. I don't know. I get where they're going for it because it can be a little bit obnoxious, and I think that was their vibe. Because obviously, it's kind of like some people who are really into art can be a little bit obnoxious. There we go. And it can be a little much. You know, you can almost feel like they're a little hoity-toity or kind of you know, like a little bit, not know-it-all, but like just feel like they're better than you. I don't know. But that's definitely how they're portraying the characters.
Yeah, so they make a few attempts to scare the people, but then they realize, like, we can't be seen. What are we doing?
Yeah. Which is funny because I really like these kind of special effects with her like pulling her face off and something. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And then him cutting his head off and her holding it with the knife.
Yeah.
Like these like.
They're
even
just
though I was
funny
little,
and silly.
Well, even though I was little, that didn't scare me.
Because they don't do it in a scary way.
No.
And like coming from a kid that was scared of a lot of things, yeah, it's not scary. They do it to be silly, and also like there's no jump scares or anything like that. They said they were gonna scare them, like But yeah, then they realize, like, I think she says to Adam, like, we can't be seen.
Yeah,
they can't see us. Yeah. So then their next best route is to be your usual ghost. So
well, that's going to happen a little bit later. Because I mean, you did have that one quote that you wanted me to put down about the spray paint. What do you want to say?
Oh yeah, so they're trying, like, I forget who. I know she's in Schitt's Creek, but the wife, she's running around with her artistic partner, like her.
Aldo.
Yeah,
it's not Otto, but it's
Aldo. Yeah,
Aldo or something like that. Yeah.
They're running around and trying to spray paint the house to, I guess, mark up where they want to make changes. And these are like the smallest spray cans I've ever seen, like smaller than like the mini Gatorades. And then they have the audacity to be like, "This spray paint sucks." Like, well, first off, also, I don't know if you guys have ever.
No, you said the spray paint sucks.
Oh, I thought they did.
No, you go make that note. Spray paint sucks, and I was like, "All right." I made the note.
Well, I forgot my whole mental note. But oh yeah, because they're running around acting like they're marking up stuff, and they ain't marking up shit because the paint sucks. My bad. They didn't say that. I said that. Yeah, it sucks, and they're acting like they're doing something, spray painting X's and random words. And I'm like, there's nothing coming out of that spray paint can.
Yeah,
at all.
Well, basically, her name is Delia, and then she wants to basically completely change the house, and Charlie, which is her husband, feels otherwise.
Oh yeah, and they already just seem disgusted with each other.
I don't see how they're together, to be honest. I
think that's the whole thing, and then they have their like
I don't know
kid.
And she says that funny little like that little phrase where she's like, "I will live with you in this hole, but if I can't express myself, if you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and take you with me."
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny. Like that. There's not been a phrase so far that we've talked about in a movie that it could be ever so real.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't happy, buddy. You ain't going to be happy.
I feel like that's just mutual for anybody in a relationship living together. If there's imbalance.
From the lady, I would say yes.
No, because if the guy's in a shitty mood, we all got to pay too. So don't act like you're any different. A shitty mood's a shitty mood, and unfortunately they're contagious, just like good ones, which is not unfortunate. Anyways, after that TED Talk, so now Adam and Barbara are like scrambling to find a solution. They're like, this isn't gonna work. I don't want these. And like Barbara is so upset. She's like, I don't want these people in this house. They're gonna change it. We don't like it. And while this is all going on, mind you, they don't think that they can be seen. Lydia sees them.
Yeah,
she's out in the yard trying to get a skeleton key for her dad from the realtor, and she sees them up in the attic window, essentially.
Yeah, we get the funny little joke. It's like, just let you know that I, if you're father wants any tips on decorating. I personally
decorated this whole entire house. Yeah, it's like they don't like it. Delia doesn't like it. And so I don't know if they realized they were seen or not at this point.
They kind of were sitting there. Barbara was like, "Hey, Adam, she saw us." She's like, "They can't."
The
see
book
us.
says, yeah, the book says they can't see us.
It doesn't say that. It says sometimes it's like, but yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what he thinks. But what the book actually says is that sometimes the living won't see the dead.
Yeah,
because they're not open to seeing them.
Yeah. So Lydia, instead of giving the key to her father, goes upstairs and tries to get into the attic.
Yeah.
And Barbara and Adam, I don't know why I pulled a blank. Barbara and Adam have been reading the book, and they've read that if they draw a door.
Yeah, they we get to that point, but before that we get the commercial, the Beetlejuice commercial. Because they learned of Beetlejuice before that, because then they talk about when they go there. Yeah, because
he offers exorcists.
So basically, while Lydia's on her way up, we see Beetlejuice, not for the first, we see him in person for the first time. We get to look what he looks like, but yeah, we see basically
looks like a dirty cowboy
playing in a TV commercial, and that TV commercial is in reference to actual real car salesman, a real carsman salesman back in the 80s that would make car selling commercials.
That is what a car salesman does.
Well, they're kind of making fun of that, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of those commercials, unfortunately, but yeah, we get that, and we see Beetlejuice is the afterlife leading bioexorcist.
Yeah.
Which don't know what that means.
I don't think.
But that's his credentials.
Yeah.
And you get a free demon possession with every exorcism.
Yeah.
So that's one of the perks you get by hiring him. But they decide they're not going to do that, and they're going to use the handbook.
Yeah.
To
try to figure it out.
So now we're back on track.
Yeah. So then that's where they draw the door. So yeah. So Lydia is trying to get into the door, trying to get into the attic, and they're like, okay, we need to go. Like, so they draw the door on the brick wall, and Barbara's like, do you really think this stuff's going to work? Do you think that book's actually going to work? And it does. It opens up a portal into pretty much like the corporate afterlife.
Yeah, I put down on the notes a afterlife DMV.
Yeah, pretty much. Where it's a mix of the DMV and the meat aisle. You sit there, the deli, where they cut your meats. And you just take a number and you sit there and wait.
Yeah, it's funny because this is when they get to meet their caseworker, Juno. And it's, like I said and earlier, like every time you meet someone who's dead, like you get to see how they died. And Juno, it's funny because her throat was slit somehow. You don't know how, but it was.
Yeah.
And then when she smokes her cigarettes, you get the cool little shots of the smoke
and as
coming
she
out
talks,
of
it comes out of her throat.
Yeah, it's funny. Then you get the people in the waiting room, which, you got the
shrunken
head guy, the guy who choked on a chicken leg.
Yeah, and you see it popping out of his throat.
Yeah, the guy that caught on fire. There's who's the magician assistant that got sawed in half.
Oh yeah. So you see just like a room full of a bunch of weirdos and dead people and how they died essentially. And at this point in time, I think it's Barbara brings up the idea of Beetlejuice to Juno.
I can't remember. They bring it up, and that's when she's like, "Oh, he's bad news. You don't want to use him. He's my old assistant. I fired him, and he's just been causing trouble ever since."
Yeah. And at that point, we get another shot of Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it goes back to the... I love this scene so much when I was little because it's so creepy looking, where you see the fly land on the set. Yeah. And it's funny because you see the little fake grass and the cardboard and stuff like that. And this is all like... This is pure Michael Keaton, just improvisation. Yeah. I mean, like... Hey,
his first...
Want to have a bite?
Yeah.
Come here.
His first intro is also just...
Oh my God.
It gets weirder.
Yeah, and the song in the little commercial, I try to look, I've turned the the closed caption on to read the lyrics. I'm like, what the heck? Come down and sit on the dog.
Yeah, it's almost like a auction style
I don't
ramble.
know. It's hilarious. Oh my God. I don't, it's so weird because like, it's just so unique. And I don't know, like, I don't know. It's weird and it's funny and it's creepy and I don't know. I don't know how you can't help but love it.
Yeah. So ultimately, Juno's like, well, you guys need to figure it out because you're stuck in the house for 125 years.
Yeah, before you get to, I guess, move on to the afterlife.
Yeah. So you better scare them off, deal with them, or
Yeah.
Juno's like, I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Figure it out yourself.
And everyone's being kind of dicks to him. Like, I bet you didn't even finish reading the book yet. And you're already asking for help. And you only got so many helps you can cash in.
Yeah, in the 125 years. So they go back home, essentially. And they try to scare the family with being literally your cliche ghost.
Your favorite, though.
Yeah.
Becca loves Becca loves cartoon pictures of ghosts with no feet.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but she loves
They're
them.
so stinking cute. You can get little floral ghosts. So we always do chalk outside. And for every holiday, I do a little no feet ghost. Like, so one time in the spring, I drew one with a cowboy hat that said...
Boo Haw.
Yeah, Boo Haw. And then on Valentine's Day, I think I drew one with a bunch of hearts. On Easter, I drew one with bunny ears.
Yeah.
I think I drew a Christmas one. They're so stinking cute. The funny thing is, I was talking to my cousin the other day. I'm like, do you want to get a no feet tattoo? And she's like, what's that? I'm like, the ghost with no feet.
I don't think anyone knows what you mean when you say that.
I've seen tons of them, so...
But I don't think when people say, when you go, you want to get a no feet tattoo?
Yeah, I said a little, like, no feet ghost things, and she was like, what?
Yeah, but if you just say, you want to get a no feet tattoo, and people are like, well, what's a no feet tattoo?
I got it from somewhere. I didn't think it up in my own brain. But yeah, I fucking love that shit. So they try to, like, scare him the cliche way by cutting up Delia's
designer sheets.
Yeah,
apparently.
designer, like soup. Also, by the way, like sheets are actually stupid expensive. When you try to get like the nice, like high count thread, whatever majiggers that aren't at Walmart, they're crazy expensive, ridiculous. So they cut up her designer sheets into Ghost and are booing around the house trying to scare her and stuff. Yeah, and then you get a glimpse of Lydia, and she thinks that's her parents having intercourse, and she's like, "You guys hate each other. You're disgusting.
Yeah.
What are you doing? How can you even touch her?"
First off, I don't know who
who does that sound.
I don't know.
And
is it ghost sex? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But then Lydia comes out and takes pictures of them. I think it was Lydia that took the pictures of them.
She takes some good old Polaroids out and starts taking
Yeah,
pictures
because
of
I've
them.
even seen people get the rollback. I've seen people get the tattoos of the little no feet inside the Polaroid, and it says no feet.
Yeah.
That didn't come from... I'm going to Google it.
I believe you.
No, I'm going to try to figure out where it came from. I don't care whether you believe me. But... yeah, so Lydia takes pictures of them, and
yeah, and basically she has a little conversation with them. She's like, "Well, you know, what's?"
Yeah, she's like, "You ain't gonna scare her. She's sleeping with Vyvanse, Ativan, something like that."
Shoot, what is it? What's your sleeping pills?
Yeah, there's different kinds, but she's like, "Yeah, so you're not gonna scare her at all tonight."
Yeah. And then so basically she wants to let her family know that, and she tries to show them pictures of it, basically that she has proof, like, hey, we've got people living in the house, and she tries to talk to them for them, to family talk to them for them, and they're just like, hey, what are you doing, Lydia? Like they kind of already get the fact that like she's weird, and they're just like, what is this? You know what I mean? And I'm no offense, but like my parents would act the exact same way.
Oh yeah, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
Wait, Logan, what?
Yeah.
What? Because how old is she?
Their last names are the Malins.
Malins. How old is she? She's 15. Did you say you looked it up? She was 15.
I mean, Winona Ryder was 15 when they first
that
started recording it.
makes
She was
sense.
16 when it aired, I think.
Yeah, but that's probably how old she is in the movie. To be
Yeah,
honest.
it's fitting.
I mean, she's in school. I mean,
Yeah.
but basically, Adam and Barbara believe like they ain't gonna get done themselves, and they're gonna need some help.
Yeah.
So that's when they're gonna say, "Hey, let's talk to this Beetlejuice fella and see what he's all about."
Beetlejuice.
And then basically, Adam and Barbara say Beetlejuice 3 times, and they teleport him to Adam's model set.
Yeah.
Where they're at his grave, per se,
Yeah.
and they have to dig him up. And it's just funny because you see him like they have to dig up through the fake grass.
And he says the most section. It's also funny because it's fake grass and it's like cork board.
Yeah.
And then it's like they're digging up a fake set essentially.
Yeah.
They didn't even take an effort to hide that, which I like. It's all just like theatrics. He says the most like sexual stuff.
I don't know, like it's.
I thought it was funny. I usually don't think stuff like that's funny. As if you listen to Harry Met Sally, I'm like, I forget what happened. Were they trying to or was he trying to kiss her or something? And she was like, no, or try to make a move. I don't know.
I can't remember what part you're talking about, but yeah.
But yeah, usually I'm not for that shit. But this part, it was just funny, and he was just being creepy and weird.
Yeah, and it's a little. You get the whole basically spill of him. We get the fake, you want to see something scary? You know, do I do scary? You know, and he does the whole like the monsters face scene. Apparently, they were actually going to film that, but they thought it would be better if the audience actually didn't see what the face looked like. But it sucks because they spent all this money on it.
Yeah,
and it was like, and they didn't even show it. But I think it does work better when you don't get to see it.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's so many funny things like where like the part where like he literally. Is this in the scene where he spits in his pocket? And he's like, I'm gonna save that for later.
I think so. He does so many crazy things in like 1 minute.
It is like haywire. It's like freaking just one after one after one after one. Like you literally gotta pay attention.
In my dad's head.
I don't know. It's like it's just classic Michael Keaton just doing shit.
Like he
crazy.
tries to kiss Barbara. He just like majorly overwhelms them to the point where they like. Barbara just ends up panicking and it's just like home or whatever she says.
Yeah, he does the whole little like he goes well, how do we know you can be scary? Well, I studied at Juilliard and I was the head of my class, and then I've seen it. He goes on I've seen the actions 156 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single freaking time.
Yeah.
So
God. Just like
do you think I'm qualified?
Yeah. And he's just like, because Adam's like, no, wait, Barbara, we got to stay. Like, we'll see what he can do. And Barbara eventually is like, I'm done. I'm going home. I regret doing this. We shouldn't have done this.
This is when you get the famous like, I hope you like Italian.
Yeah, and
where'd you go?
Yeah, and
come on.
He tries to kiss Barbara. He like lifts up her skirt, like I think pretends like honks her tits maybe.
Is it? It's her butt or something.
Yeah.
It makes the honky noises.
Yeah. And then he's like pelvic thrusting.
Yeah, he's great.
I don't know how he did. I mean, he just was having fun. I don't know how he did it without busting out laughing.
I don't know. It's great.
I do a funny crab walk across the kitchen. I'm dying. But
for some reason, Becca thinks this is hilarious to crab walk randomly.
Yeah.
I think,
and not the crab walk you guys did in elementary school. I mean, like. Yeah, I'll explain in a video later.
I don't know. I wasn't laughing. Like she did it today or earlier today. I'm like, and she's laughed, shoving up a storm. I'm like, it's not, babe. It's not that funny. She's like, well, you do it, and then I did it, and then she's laughing up a storm. I'm like, but I still don't think this is funny.
It's for my own entertainment, okay? It's not about you. So ultimately. They're like, okay, we are not doing Beetlejuice. That was too much.
We're gonna do it by our own selves.
Yeah.
And so the family's basically having a dinner party.
Oh my god, this is my favorite scene.
Yeah, the family scene's having a dinner party. Delia's art director or some sort of person is in town to review her new artwork because she kind of like tries to help her sell her artwork.
Yeah.
Basically makes it came out like she just loses money. She doesn't actually sell any of her artwork.
It's kind of a bust.
Yeah, and so they're having a dinner party for them, and they Adam and Barbara take it on themselves, and they do the famous dinner party scene, which is with the Banana Boat song.
Love it.
By Harry Belafonte. The whole Dale.
Yes.
Dale.
Don't tell me listen here,
Daylight
listeners.
come
If you
and
hear
wanna
that
go
song and you
home.
don't start, or you hear that song start and you don't start just like gleaming and you just think of Beetlejuice,
This was me and my sister.
or just for fun, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Me and my sister used to do that. We would do the Dale and then just randomly do like little dances around the dinner table.
Yes.
All the freaking time.
It's good. It's good for the soul.
Like, wait, there's things that me and my sister did all the time. This movie, I don't know if
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, but Young Frank.
I think you said you did a lot of stuff off Austin Powers.
I mean, a little bit because I was a little older.
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So because my dad's a little bit older dad, so like my dad was big into movies and comedies and stuff like that.
Now he just listens to shows of a different language.
Well, that's the funny. My dad will just put it on Netflix, and when it plays, it'll just play another movie, and he'll just sit there and watch it.
But the thing is, now he's messed with the algorithm so much. It's like shows that aren't even in English.
It's a lot of Japanese westerns.
Yes, that's what I was getting to, and it's like, Chico, what are you watching?
I literally said, "Hey, what are you watching?" I don't know. This guy's it's really good.
I like it. I really like it.
But here's the thing:
it entertains him.
That's what he likes. But yeah, we would do that, and we would used to do like a lot of the like Young Frankenstein, like put the candlestick back.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. My dad actually texted me the other day. He's like, "I'm watching Young Frankenstein. I miss it when y'all were little." And we used to do little skits.
Logan's dad is just an angel on this planet. He should just remain untouched.
He is a golden retriever.
Yeah.
That's his spirit animal, a golden retriever.
Yeah. But where were we?
But the famous dinner scene, and
oh yeah,
they think it's going to scare them.
They thought it was fun. The people thought it was fun, so they were forcing. They were forcing them to sing, dance around. They did crazy stuff with the lobster that they were eating.
That's creepy too. That part was a little creepy when I was little. When the hands come out as the shrimp hands. And bread, it's just if you just stare at it for too long, it kind of creeps you out.
Something about this movie left me unbothered.
Though I will say the one scene. Well, we're going to get to it. But there's one scene. I'm fine now.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I'm a big
make
boy.
A point. Okay, you make a point every time we see you. You're like, I did not like that when I was a kid.
I didn't know.
What I didn't like as a kid is the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Journey Down the River.
Oh, I don't think anyone still likes that.
I can't even watch it. Yeah, like.
I don't even know why that's in the fucking. That's what we need. We need to watch that. I need to Google, research a little bit. Like, why is that scene even in the movie?
Yeah, I don't know. As a kid, I was like, hell no, get me out of here. Ugh.
But yeah, basically, it doesn't work, and that's like we said.
And they go upstairs, and they genuinely are like, because at first they think it worked.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes. And they run over to the window to watch everyone scurry away.
To the cars and drive off.
They think they nailed it on the head.
Oh, no. But they actually want to turn it into a tourist attraction.
Yes.
It's weird. And then now everyone believes Lydia. So Beetlejuice.
Now they're like, now they also plan to use Lydia to communicate with the ghosts.
Yeah.
To force them to come out.
Then Beetlejuice takes it in his own hands.
To take it up another few notches.
Basically, and he's going to scare them. And this is kind of crazy because they shot the entire scene before they even knew Michael Keaton signed on. So that they didn't have a way, they didn't have the look for Beetlejuice just yet.
Yeah.
But they went back and re-edited it to make the snake look more like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, so
this is the scene.
Now that we're here, the thing that Logan really does not like is the giant snake with the mouth with Beetlejuice's head inside of it that comes out.
It's very scary.
I don't know. Again, as a kid that was scared of a lot of things, this stuff just did not bother me. Beetlejuice just did not freak me out.
Just this scene. This was the only scene. I obviously now. I mean, it doesn't bother me now, but I don't know how old I was when I saw it. I mean, the movie came out in '88. I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
But I definitely say this gave me a little bit of a
little spook.
A little hard to sleep at night sometimes.
But eventually, so Barbara and Adam are watching all this unfold, and like you can genuinely see that the family is scared at this point, and also Beetlejuice is like potentially going to start to hurt people because I think Charles like falls off the balcony.
Yeah, he picks him up or something like that. Yeah. But,
yeah.
Like, basically, Beetlejuice pushes the limits far past what you're supposed to do in the afterlife, I guess.
Oh yeah, just like genuine fear. He just goes way too far. So Barbara ends up, saying his name 3 times to get him the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And also Lydia's now upset because she didn't think they were like that.
Yeah, which she doesn't know. She doesn't know who Beetlejuice is. She doesn't know that's not them.
She thought they did it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that really upset Lydia as well.
Yeah. So Juno we move forward and see Juno giving Adam and Barbara advice on to get the deets out of their house.
And another funny thing is Juno now has a portion of a football team following her around.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And not knowing what to do, and I guess like continuously questioning whether they're dead or not.
Yeah, they keep calling her coach. She's like, I'm not your coach. He survived.
Yeah. And they just keep appearing. Like they just won't leave Juno alone.
Yeah, it's funny. But basically it's like, show me something scary. We get the really cool looks.
Yes. So you get to the point where she's like, all right, show me what you got. Show me really what you have.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, whatever. Or Juno's like, no, whatever. So Adam, this is where you get the cliche Adam and Barbara Beetlejuice look.
Yeah, was it last year, the year before they started making the stuffed animals at Spirit Halloween? Or
yeah,
whatever?
So
those things are cool, but oh my god, no offense, but like they're they want a lot of money for that kind of shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think Adam like pulls his nose
out, puts his hand in his mouth, and shoves his fingers through his skull.
Yeah.
And then pulls his eyes out.
Yeah.
And then puts them on his fingertips.
Yeah, and then Barbara opens her mouth really wide and then pushes her eyes in and out through her mouth. And I think she had normal hands. I don't think she did anything.
I don't think she did anything.
Or was she the finger hands?
Finger hands.
Like you just said, like he...
No, he did the eye hands.
Yeah.
Eyeball hands. And she had the eyeballs on her tongue.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that, but I thought she did something with her hands, too.
I don't think so, no.
I'm double-checking. Continue.
Yeah, but I don't think she does anything.
No, she doesn't. I double-checked. But... Let me see here.
But it's kind of cool because basically they're going to try to do it themselves.
Yes.
And then unfortunately Beetlejuice has made his way to Lydia. She's in the attic and she hears him on the little what's it called? The model set or whatever, and he's trying to convince her into helping him get out so he can help them.
Yeah, and ultimately she's like, where's Barbara? I want to talk to Barbara.
Yeah.
Where's Barbara? And she's very adamant. You start to see this thing where Lydia and Barbara develop a very maternal and child relationship with one another.
Yeah.
Where...
Well, they always wanted a child, but unfortunately they couldn't have it.
Yeah.
And now they're like getting some of that feelings.
From Lydia. And like Lydia obviously doesn't feel protected or heard or anything from her stepmom and her dad. So, and you also hear different parts where Barbara's like, well, I don't want Lydia to get hurt. I don't want Lydia to get hurt. I want to make sure Lydia is okay. So Lydia first is like, okay, you see this little game of charades because Beetlejuice is like, you like charades? You can play charades? And she's like, yeah, sure. And he's trying to get her to say Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And she's just like not getting it at first. And then she finally does. And then he's like, say it one more time. And that's when she cuts it off.
Yeah, it's like, funny. You get a beetle and then some juice and the beetle's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically they come in just in time, which they scare her because they're in their like scary like looking faces, whatever. And then basically Lydia was basically saying like she was going to try to low key kill herself so she could be with him, which is crazy because apparently that's how the movie was going to end. Lydia was going to kill herself so she could be with him. It's like, whoa, like that. Yeah, you could. can't
Left turn.
Yeah, you can't take the movie that far. Jesus Christ.
No, not with anybody, but especially a child.
But basically, she explains to him, "We're dead. You don't want to be like us. You don't want to be dead like us."
She's like, "It's not fun.
No.
It's nothing's better because we're on this side."
No, not at all. Not at all. And then we then see Charlie's orchestrating a meeting to attempt to commercialize on Barbara and Adam with his business partner or whatever, which is Robert Goulet.
Yeah.
Which is if anyone who knows who Robert Goulet is, if you're in the 90s, Will Ferrell loved to do a Robert Goulet impression. Yeah. He was always being on like it was on SNL. I think he even came on Conan a couple of times and do it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's so this little scene's like was funny because like when I rewatched it after I was older, and I was like, oh, that's Robert Goulet, and then I was like, and that was funny to me just the fact that he was in it because I had known the sketches or whatever sketches from Will Ferrell and stuff like that back when Will Ferrell was like doing like really funny things.
Yeah. So ultimately they try to get Lydia to summon them, and Lydia's like, they don't want to come out.
No.
And Aldo's like, fine, I'll do it. Like, I know how to do it.
He is a shit,
he don't
by
know
the
how
way.
To do shit.
Oh my God. His character is so fucking annoying.
Yeah, so he summons them, all right, forcibly, but he summons them to their death.
It's so, yeah.
Essentially.
Have you ever been around a person that always thinks they know everything? They're running around acting like you can bring up anything. You can have a conversation with them, and for some reason they'll make it sound like they know more about that subject than you do.
Oh yeah.
And they like this might be the first time they fucking heard the damn thing.
Yeah, and he's just hoity-toity and bleh.
Is it pretentious? Annoying. Is that the kind of like
potentially that would be a fitting word?
Yeah.
So anyways, he summons them. He summons them all right, but to their death. They're like slowly deteriorating at the center of the table in front of everyone, but it's a crowd pleaser because Robert is like...
Well, he didn't know. Well, so they show up, which they're happy, but then they didn't know it's going to kill them.
Yeah, and Lydia's like freaking out. She's like, it's killing him. Take it back. Take it back.
Yeah.
And Lydia, being a child, not thinking about it, Beetlejuice said he could help them.
Yeah.
So she summons Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and the one thing though is he will help them and prevent them from dying.
But Lydia has to marry him.
Yeah.
And Lydia's like, I don't care. Sure, whatever. And so Beetlejuice makes this big entrance.
Yeah, and this is when we get the classic white and black suit.
Yes.
Because it's on the movie cover, but we haven't seen it whatsoever yet.
Yeah. And you also get like a little Easter egg that I don't know.
No, it was, yeah. So apparently...
well, I was going to say, I don't know if anyone else noticed. I know it's an Easter egg.
Okay.
Or golden egg or whatever they call it.
Easter egg, yeah. I don't think anyone calls it golden egg.
Huh?
I don't think anyone calls it a golden egg.
Whatevs. But yeah, so an Easter egg, there's this carousel that appears. I forget, like, does he come out of the carousel?
Yeah, Beetlejuice is the carousel.
Yeah, so, and before he comes up, if you look at the top of the carousel, it is Jack Skellington's head.
Yeah.
I immediately noticed. I'm like, rewind it. That's Jack Skellington's head.
Yeah, because it's Tim Burton's design, and Tim Burton created Jack Skellington like years and years ago when he worked at Disney. Which I didn't bring up.
But that
early.
still came after Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah, no, he came after it, but he designed that character and that skull style look years and years before. Like we're talking about, like Tim Burton was at early 80s, so he worked on the Black Cauldron and worked on like Fox and the Hound and shit like that.
I love Fox and the Hound.
I know, right? Well, I love Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
Copper? Is it Copper, right? Yeah.
I think so. And Homeward Bound. Ugh, I want to cry.
I haven't seen that in forever.
Don't watch it.
I don't know. The thing is, like, some of these
movies...
You
will cry. I know
Some of these
you will.
movies... Well, there's nothing to cry about. No one dies.
In Homeward Bound?
They make it.
It's still a little sad.
Yeah, but they make it, though. It's not like...
There's a lot of things that end up good in movies, and you still cry.
You know what?
It's okay, though.
You gonna throw me on blast like that?
No, it's good.
I'm a crier. I don't care. I'm in touch with my feelings.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
Get it. Our categories, if you can hear.
I'm sorry if y'all can hear our cat. They want to be fed. But podcast comes first.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, so I definitely noticed that Easter egg, and was very excited about it. But who does Beetlejuice bring like the bells and whistles? He is just goes crazy over it.
Did you know where the term Easter egg came from?
No.
I just learned
Why
this.
would I care?
I just learned this the other day, so that's why I thought I'd bring it up.
I heard someone else say it. I'm like, good enough. That's what it's called.
Apparently, if this could be false, I don't know, but it came from the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show, because they hid a bunch of eggs throughout the filming of the movie.
Huh.
And there's a scene where like one of the characters sits on the throne, and underneath the throne is a golden Easter egg.
Oh, nice. A what color egg?
I'm going to take back that. I don't know if it's golden or not, so.
Yeah. Huh. Funny. I love the Venus flytraps off of, that's Little Shop of Horrors, but the Rocky Horror Show made me think of that. That's how my thought process works. But anyway, so Beetlejuice brings out all the bells and whistles, but he's kind of like not even worried about saving Barbara and Adam. He just like, I feel like immediately just is like, Lydia.
Yeah, he reverses it. Like basically, they start to come back together.
Yeah,
but then
then he knows he needs to be quick.
Yeah,
because they're going to stop him.
Severely hurts those people. They're probably dead.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie. The Robert Goulet and his wife are probably dead.
Most likely, but we're all too busy talking about Beetlejuice. Watching what happens. So he plops Lydia in a dress. He's dressed to the nines in the white suit.
Yeah, he wears that, and that's funny. His suit that he wears, it's like it's like a, I don't know, it's a weird type of like red, pastel red or something like that. But it's funny because like in the cartoon, he wears that suit a lot. He goes to that suit and wears his black and white suit a lot in the cartoon.
Oh yeah. So, and then he has someone that's going to marry them and everything. And then he locks up Charles.
Do you take this?
Yeah.
That's exactly how the little demon guys are.
Yeah, and then he says Beetlejuice's name. He's like, don't say it. Don't say it. Because obviously if it's said 3 times, he's going to disappear and the wedding's off. And then also it gets to the ring part. So he also, he locked her parents up using Dahlia's whatever her name is, her
sculpture.
artwork, her sculptures. So he entraps them in those, and Adam and Barbara try to stop it, but then he takes care of them by putting like the steel plate on Barbara's mouth.
Yeah, and then he shrinks. He shrinks Adam, sends him to the model.
Yeah,
and Adam has to get in the car.
Yeah, and he's like racing around trying to get out of the model.
It's this part of this movie. It happens really fast. But
it's just pure chaos.
It's chaos, but it's great.
Yes,
I mean, it's weird. It's like it's great. It's just good writing, and it is good direction.
Yeah,
it is like there's a reason why this movie has stand as long as it is, and there's a reason why, for example, there's restaurants named after the movie.
Yeah. And so by the way, we also went to Beetle House in New York.
The New York one, yes.
Yeah. So they have a LA one as well that they stay where they're at all year round.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. I loved it. The person that played Beetlejuice.
We got lucky. So every night that there's a couple of different performers, we just got so lucky on the night that we went. Beetlejuice was going to be there. We didn't even know that. We didn't know who was going to be there.
Well, he's usually there almost every night, but yes, we did take our chances. I'm trying to pull up the guy that played.
But it's basically just it's a little small place or whatever, but it's really cool. It's in Lower Manhattan, and
it's all
Tim Burton themed stuff.
Yeah. And their motto is like every day is Halloween.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got to see Nick Vincent Barbera as Beetlejuice, and they also had this lovely lady named Claire, and I think a woman named Kate playing like a Motley Crue.
And then Claire was Wednesday.
Yeah. And then Claire was playing Wednesday, and they were just so fun and characteristic. And also like Nick took like Beetlejuice to a T.
Yeah.
He was like,
you definitely tried
funny.
very hard. He did a good job.
Yeah, he did a great job. He fully enveloped the character. He was semi-vulgar. It is like a family. It's a bar, but you could have kids there as well in the restaurant part. But but he was mean, but in a good way, like kind of how Beetlejuice is. I just loved it. It was a really, really good experience.
No, it was great. It was great. And
so if you get to go there, go.
Wednesday did a great job. Wednesday did a great job. She was funny and stuff like that. She did the dance and stuff like that from the show and stuff. It was good. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, Logan was lucky enough that Nick / Beetlejuice picked him to pick on. But yeah, so that was a little tidbit that also made us want to kick off this episode, was the fact that we went there, and it was a really great place. So if you have the opportunity to go, you definitely should go and send us your pictures.
But yeah, it's back to the movie. So basically, Barbara gets one Beetlejuice out.
Yes.
And then she gets a second Beetlejuice.
Yeah, which technically is the third, because the minister or whatever, he didn't get it out all the way. Oh. Yeah.
And then
he slaps the metal plate on her hand or on her mouth.
Well, that's the thing is like, so if you keep on watching, once like after all this gets done, like they end up stopping them from getting married because Adam drives the car into Beetle's foot, and he sends Beetlejuice goes to Barbara, and he's like, take a hike. And she goes to Mars or whatever, the sandworm world or whatever, and somehow rides the sandworm
into the living room.
He eats them up and sends them back to the afterlife DMV.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
It was just comical. And he also like was trying to find a ring and like figure out a ring. So he's like scrambling around.
He pulls a severed finger out of his finger.
Severed finger out of his pocket. And she's like,
she meant nothing to me, baby.
I promise.
Nothing. I promise.
It's just the words that were used, the lines were just so funny and weird.
It's like, once again, you can't have Beetlejuice without Michael Keaton. It's Michael Keaton doing Michael Keaton shit.
I mean, absolutely. I agree.
And it's great. It's like whatever his personality, whatever comes to his head, he just portrayed this character and he made it his own.
Yeah, he did a wonderful job. But yeah, so the marriage falls through. They obviously didn't get married. No. And Barbara's back from Mars and Adam's back from the small little model, village. And now you get to see like, well, what happens after that. So they got rid of Beetlejuice, no marriage, but everyone still lives in the same damn house.
Yeah, so they found out they're going to coincide with each other.
Yeah,
and they're kind of trying to do the best of both worlds. Like where like we see Delia, she's going to do her modeling and stuff like that, and she's allowing them to kind of like
they pretty much split the house.
Yeah, kind of bring the house back a little bit, and then Lydia is getting special treatments if she does well in school. So they kind of do a little bit of a poltergeisting stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like they're co-parenting Lydia essentially. Yeah. And Lydia really, really likes Adam and Barbara, and that works. And it's a bittersweet ending because that works for them because, like you said, they never could have that child that they really wanted because they died. And you get this like weird end scene where she comes home, she did like really good on her math or science, I think it was science quiz or whatever, and they're all celebrating with her and stuff, and then she just starts floating into the air.
Yeah, and it's the shake Sonora, shake your body time.
Yeah, another just fun song, like just
I believe you.
Yeah, they just hit the nail on the head in this movie in so many different ways that I love it.
Yeah,
I can't express how much I love it.
I don't know. It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
I don't care. I know they keep on going in and out saying that there's going to be a Beetlejuice 2. Don't fucking do it.
No, I'm good.
Don't do it.
I'm good.
Don't do it. Don't. No. No one's telling you to shut up and take my money because no one wants to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, the people that do want to see it, I can tell you deep down, they don't want to see it because it's going to ruin. It's going to take so much away because there's certain movies out there that don't need a sequel.
That's how you really feel.
I mean, seriously, this is one of the first movies I showed Becca. Literally, I don't know if you remember this, but one of the first movies I showed you was The Iron Giant.
Oh, yeah.
And
Logan loves The Iron Giant.
When we first started dating, one of the first movies. That and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those were like the first two movies that I showed Becca. First was Guardian Galaxy. Second was Iron Giant, because I was like, okay, now how do you feel about watching a cartoon movie?
As I'm literally sitting there, well, not only that, as I'm sitting there rewatching Powderpuff Girls. So clearly I don't mind cartoons.
But that movie, you can't make a sequel for that. It's perfect. It's from start to beginning. It's perfect.
Side note in that we really just put ourselves on blast on this podcast.
Like what?
I'm over here like, I watch Powderpuff Girls in my free time.
No, Powerpuff Girls is great.
It is good.
I didn't see the second generation one, but the first one's great. Mojo is great.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the crab guy is horrifying. Horrifying.
Yeah. At my work, I'm like a technical engineer or whatever, but we make these test accounts and stuff. And my test account is all Powderpuff themed. So like all my users are all the characters from the Powderpuff show funny. And stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, so movies that you just love. But also, yes, a sequel does take the chance of just soiling it.
100%. Like it's just not gonna do what you want it to do. It might make a couple million. I mean, it might make maybe 100.
You're gonna shit your pants if they make it and it makes buku bucks.
Listen here. I'll tell you a story right here. I am notoriously known for being wrong.
I know. I was about to interrupt because I'm like, if you're about to say right, I'm about to give you a rude awakening.
I am the movie. I swear to God, I watched. I don't even care for it, to be honest. Still to this day, but I remember seeing the trailer for Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, that movie ain't gonna do shit. It literally became one of the biggest fucking movies for like fucking forever.
I think it's
a huge franchise.
Logan makes his future planning, his trajectory. He makes that very personalized, even when it's like opinions, and anyone does. But if he really thinks something's not going to make it, he does not think about like the logistics of like what the people are into at that time and like the actors that they picked. And like he thinks about those things a little bit, but in his mind, he's like, no one wants a pirate movie. Why would people want that?
I don't know. That's
because
exactly
people do.
Yeah, people do.
People love sequels. Like
Jack Sparrow is one of the most iconic characters in film history.
Johnny Depp has also been around for a very long time, which is ironic, speaking of Winona Ryder. But that's just like the sequel that they just did around Halloween time of
Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
You mean that garbage fire?
Hey, it's not good, but it's not garbage.
It's not good.
But it did good, I think.
No, it didn't.
It didn't?
I don't think it did. It went straight to streaming.
Do you think it didn't? It went straight to streaming because who goes to movies anymore? Besides me and you.
Hey.
Besides me
movies
and you.
are making a comeback.
Yes, but the movie theater, we are the only ones that probably go to like the premieres anymore.
Yeah, there is a lot of times when we go to the movie theater, we are usually like, if it's a Marvel movie, well, to be honest, I stopped giving a shit about Marvel movies now because I'm just tired of them.
Well, you've also always been more into DC.
Yeah, of course. But even with like, unfortunately, I didn't go see Shazam, so I'm not going to say if it's good or bad. I haven't heard good things, but I mean, I don't know. I just lost my taste for it and stuff like that. It's just it's
okay. So Disney, proper reading of tea leaves, whatever.
What?
I don't know. Pretty much the movie not only was the most watched ever on Disney Plus to date, but notching a Nelson record, for a streaming movie in its first weekend with 2.7 billion minutes viewed.
Because it's free.
So you think people just watch shitty stuff because it's free?
Yeah.
No.
I do believe that. I strongly believe that.
No, I perfectly cater the things I pick, even when they're free.
First off, okay, we're getting on a tangent, but it's not good. So
Hocus Pocus 2's opening numbers bested. Who the hell wrote this verbiage? Bested the record previously held by Encanto by nearly 500 million. So I will say you have to take into consideration,
that's a much better movie.
Though. Encanto. Yeah.
That's a much better movie.
I will say you have to take into consideration, though, a lot of these views are probably people just putting it on for their kids.
100%.
But either way, that is another example where a 2 was not necessary.
No, it's not necessary. And I feel like...
Long story short.
Yes. It's lightning in a bottle, and it's a great movie. And there's just...
And I want to bottle it up and keep it forever.
No, 100%. It's like I said, like this is nostalgic for me. 100%.
Yeah.
This movie is great. It's... I wish there's a lot more cool, like crazy things behind the story that I could have like looked into and stuff like that. But I didn't really see like a lot of crazy. It just wasn't. I didn't see a lot of like cool background stories about, regardless to it. But whatever.
Yeah, I get that.
But
that for you guys is my absolute fucking favorite movie, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's probably definitely my favorite Tim Burton movie. I do like Edward Scissorhands, but I was watching a podcast the other day. And people were talking about how, like, hey, have you seen Edward Scissorhands lately? I'm like, no. And they're like, it's actually not good.
Were you talking to them?
No. No, that's what they said.
Logan's the kid equivalent when they're listening to Dora the Explorer and they're like, where's the triangle? And you talk to the TV.
Well, it's clear right there in the corner.
Yeah.
No. But
Logan's talking to his podcast.
But no, basically they were like, it's actually really not good. Like it's like they're
we
like
gotta rewatch it.
They're like get prepared to have.
But I feel like we recently watched it.
I think like we did watch it like last Christmas, not this Christmas, but the Christmas before last. And I do remember it. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it again.
I think it's more of like the idea, the whole. If you think of it logically, like, wait, this bitch don't even know this guy, and he barely talks.
Why you got to think of things logically? Ain't nobody need logic in their free time. That's used for work hours only. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining us, listening to Beetlejuice. Whether we like it, love it, or hate it, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
but I love this one.
Yes, I love this movie. It's great.
Yeah, so we will see you guys next week with another episode.
If you follow us on all our social medias if you can, that would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, like, subscribe, leave a review. Anything that makes you feel good, we'll appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate all the support, you guys. All right.
Bye.